Hello, are we live? I don't know. Who's here? If you're here, say hi so I know we're live. I don't know we're live. Nobody's here. Let's wait. Hey, Ari. Hi, how are you? All right, somebody's here. Sweet. So we are on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So we're gonna give it a few minutes for everyone to join before we start. Let's see. I think the Instagram. So I'm working on getting Instagram live as well. Give me a minute. Instagram. Let me see. Instagram. Let's try that. Oh, we have a question already. Ari is asking how long does the second chance last if the bidders don't pay up after 60 hours? Can I make it less than 60 hours? So, 60 hour is a global time. So we currently set to 60 hours, which seems to work. Do you think that it's too long, too short? Hi, Eric. You can't stay for the whole. Yeah, we'll upload this to YouTube after this. There's a lot that we're gonna go over. I don't know how many people are here right now. Let's see, 7. Okay, so this live stream is mainly for sellers, and if you are buyers, you're free to stick around and just check out the inner working of ReefnBid behind the scene. We're gonna start in a little bit. I have a slide prepared for everyone. If you're here, feel free to say hi. It's a very small industry, small hobby. And who's going to Reefapalooza? Because we are going to be at Reefapalooza as under the ReefnBid moniker, as well as Pieces of the Ocean. So, Eric, did I answer your question? And if you have any, obviously you have any comments about the 60 hours, we're happy to hear it. So I'm going to set up a slide. Seven people. Let's wait until we have 8. We have 8 now. We have 9 people. We have 10 that will start the presentation. You guys are free to ask questions anytime during this live stream. That's what it's about, right? Q&A. So this is your opportunity to ask me directly the questions that you have for about ReefnBid. Again, the main reason for this is that we actually have quite a lot of sellers signed up, over 70 sellers from ReefnBid. And only a handful of you guys are actively bidding and taking advantage of the platform. So we really want to give an opportunity for provide a platform for feedback and and for us to maybe tell you a little bit about the seller dashboard, how to sell, how to basically, make money on the platform, right? And for you guys to ask me any questions that you have, or if you're a current seller, you encounter the platform, there's something you don't understand, you're stumped, and you have nowhere to go to, you can ask. And all right, so I'm gonna start. Okay, since this live stream is gonna be recorded, we'll upload this, and then anyone that's not able to make it can watch this later. So basically, for sellers that's now on the platform and seller that's going to be on the platform, thinking about going to the platform, unsure exactly what it is about, whether or not they'll succeed, is it going to be difficult to sign up, all those things. I hopefully able to answer your questions now. All right, so Eric is asking couple of things. How many auctions go the whole time versus get bought out early? Do current sellers find that they are getting good value ending sale price or not? Okay, so these are great questions, right? I actually gonna go through this later, but I can talk about it right now. So we have seen, I would say probably 99% of the time, auction go all the way, and then the stuff that get bought out early are usually the stuff that's the highest uh, on people's list, the most desirable pieces. Examples such as the OG bounces, those always get bought out, okay? Especially if you give a very reasonable price and a nice looking piece. And the other piece that get bought out a lot on pieces of the ocean is the acros, the Jekyll and Hyde acro, the grafted pieces. So if you know the current hobby, what's hot, you kind of have an idea. Like if you bring a piece to Reefapalooza or the trade show, and then that piece is bound to go first thing, those pieces are usually the one that get bought out. But again, I'm going to go into this later on. How do you balance between pieces that you want to keep growing and pieces that you actually want to sell at a great price to be successful each round? Second question is, do current sellers find that they're getting good value or are not? So that is a great question also. That's a question on many people's mind. I will go through this in later on in the slides. Okay, so I touch upon this, but let me get to the slide. There's going to be a portion about it. What's up, Jackson? How you doing, man? Great to have you. So let me see here. The topics here. Going to do a little bit introduction. Going to talk about why ReefnBid Auction, and then after that we'll go through the step-by-step process of signing up the seller, and then go through the step-by-step process of how listing an auction. And then after that, we're going to talk about the ingredients for success, drawing from our experience. We've been running auctions since 2017. So we know about a thing or two. And then after that, we will do Q&A. But again, you guys can ask any questions, but hopefully you allow me to go through the slides, because I actually may answer a lot of your questions right now. So a little bit introductions for those that don't know who I am. My name is Kenny, but most of you guys know me as the Kenny of Pieces of the Ocean. So a lot of times people get confused. I think we probably haven't done a good enough job of introducing ReefnBid as opposed to Pieces of the Ocean. So it's completely two different entities. The reason why we did ReefnBid is because auction has been so successful for us as a business that other businesses, other sellers and vendors have literally come to our store asking us how to run auctions, or I get DM a lot about how to run auctions, right? And at that time, we were running auction on Shopify, so you see a lot of the other vendors doing that right now on their own .com. It's a great start, right? But I think a few years into doing that, a couple of issues arise, mainly because not only the plugin is it's like a one size fit all type of plugin. They made it for other businesses, like people that sell collectibles. It has nothing to do with the hobby. and it's very buggy. If you go through the review, I think you probably might see one of mine just venting my frustrations on the quality of the plugin. So that, and coupled with the fact that after a while, as pieces of the ocean, we only had this certain amount of corals, right? We only had this thousand. Our store is actually only 1,000 square feet, so we could only keep a certain amount of corals. After a while, we found ourselves basically just selling the same thing over and over again. And then as a result, we saw the bid start to reflect that, because people are basically tired of seeing the same stuff all the time. It doesn't matter if you're selling the best stuff over and over again. I mean, you think about how many home records can you possibly sell to people? How many, pink lemonade, and how many OG bounces, or what? Even if you have like 50 of them, you're not going to be able to consistently sell them on a weekly basis. And then as we saw that there's a need for other vendors to participate, we found a very good kind of like mutually beneficial situation where if we build this platform and allow other sellers to sell alongside, one, we create a situation where our selections has quadruple or whatever, right? If we get 10 different sellers on, your stuff may not be the same as my stuff. So by bringing you on, the buyers see like, oh, look, there's actually a lot more corals to the selection. That's so as a result, we bring a lot more traffic to the auction, and the auction will benefit from having more eyes on it. And then in turn, the sellers, me or you, can put your stuff in front of other sellers' customer base. You get to put your stuff in front of pieces of ocean. We have a huge following, and you get to put your stuff in front of ours. And we have Aqua SD on board right now, and we get to put our stuff in front of theirs, and vice versa. They put their stuff in front of our customer. So it's a very, very good win-win situation. So having seen that, we started just thinking about that around COVID time. That's the concept started, and then we spent a lot of time on building ReefnBid in the following years, right? So that's how ReefnBid became about. Any questions so far? All right, I'm gonna keep on going. So why ReefnBid Auction? So I briefly touched upon it, right? One of the challenges of running a business, especially selling corals, is that you have to have buyers. How do you bring buyers to you? So before auction, or even in the old time, I'm sure you guys know, during the time of Facebook auction, you have to post the stuff up, and you kind of like, one of the ways to sell corals was to do WYSIWYG, right? What you see is what you get, and you take pictures and you post it and you promote it, and you just sit there and wait. Hopefully people see it and find it compelling enough to make a purchase. And you just gotta spend a lot of money promoting it, advertising. So your cash flow is never consistent. And as a business, that's the killer for business, or you could make or break a business. But with auction, when you run it consistently, let's take the prices and the bids out of the sentence first. It's guaranteed sales. Once the auction item receive bids, it's a guaranteed sale. Okay, so let's forget about, oh, it's only a few dollars here and there, but collectively, we do it consistently enough, this thing will build up. So we are mainly aiming for cash flow, because if you think of it from a business standpoint, cash flow is king. All right, so you need to have cash flow to run a business, and auction provides that. Okay, now, but why ReefnBid Auction? Why not run auction on your own website? Because you on your own.com. Because a couple of things, and I'm going to touch upon it. It promotes a healthy competition, which is it's a great question. Why would I want to sell alongside my competitor and you know basically allow them to take my customers or whatnot? But I think it's more than that, right? You think about the car dealerships; they're always on the same block. If you think about if you go to certain Asian country, the entire block is dedicated to fish. So there is the rationale is that it's because the niche nature of the business, of the hobby, you don't want the buyers to work too hard to find your product. If you provide a platform where everybody can come together in a convenient and easy way to buy corals, it's great. It works for everybody. So that's why the term a rising tide lifts all boats makes so much sense in this situation. Um, Again, I briefly talked about it. More selection means more buyers, right? And then on top of it, if you think about if you're selling on your own, you got to do your own promotion, you got to do your own marketing, and you got to bring your own customer to you. Whereas we do all the marketing for you here. We do a lot of um, you know promotion. We sponsoring different YouTube personality like influencers. We're actually going to be a Reefpalooza, have a booth there. We wanted to promote the sellers and the platform because if you guys succeed, the platform will succeed, right? And then number three is I want to briefly touch upon the technology side of things. And my background is in tech before the Coral life. So I was able to put together a good team to build this thing out, and it's super secure. And if anybody concerned about that, and then if anybody's in the tech space, we're free to answer your questions about what's behind um, the inner working, the technical side of things. We actually want to talk about it, but I don't think the Coral side, the hobby, may not find it compelling enough. But we're happy to talk about it. And then finally, it's basically a virtual frag swap. Um, it's kind of like I just cannot uh, uh, emphasize this enough that selling corals on your own.com is kind of like selling on a long street. You got to put a big sign to tell people come here, but you're limited by selection. So I compare that to selling corals in the mall. If you're selling corals, or a lot of people, a lot of sellers on eBay. I say, on eBay, it's kind of like you just go to a mall and selling corals next to shoes and phone cases with people that may potentially have no interest in what you're selling. Um, Whereas you go to a trade show like Reefpalooza, everybody's there. Their mindset is different. They're just there to buy coral. So, your customers are already there, and that's what we're trying to create a virtual frag swap that's 24/7 in the auction platform, right? Okay. So next, I'm gonna try to show you how to sign up as seller. So I just want to show you. It's actually quite easy. Um, so any questions? Hey, I just want to introduce William. I forgot to introduce William. So William is my business partner in Pieces of the Ocean, and also my partner in ReefnBid. He's mostly responsible for the operation logistical side of things. He's also a big stickhead as well. So William's going to help me answer questions that I happen to miss. Okay, so when you create an account, right, this is what you're going to see. I'm going to go through it step by step here. The first screen you're going to see this screen. So the first thing you're going to decide if you're going to be a business owner or staff member. If this is your first time signing up, you're going to be a business owner. We made it so that if you're a bigger business, you have other people helping you out, and they want to pull orders or want to upload pictures, you can create a staff member account. They can do that as well. So once you've done this, you click next, and you're going to enter your basic business information. So this is pretty straightforward. You should know about your business information here. All right. On the bottom of that page, you're going to want to put your logo and banner up. Okay. So this is pretty straightforward stuff here. Then after that, you're going to set your shipping rates. Okay. So the platform is going to help you do a lot of things for you. All you have to do is one, set your shipping rate, and two, when do you ship? Okay. You can choose any of the days. And when you choose the day, that's when the customer will see when they check out. These are the days available to them when they check out. Oh, these are the days I can choose to receive. So these are ship dates. Obviously, these are shipping dates, not delivery dates. But this will tell your customers what days you have available as a shipping day. Then I know a lot of people have this, right? Like Poto has this. when you have when you ship out to local neighboring states, you have a shipper rates. You can do that here as well. And then finally, the bottom, you can check if you provide in-store pickup. Okay. So if you in-store pickup, then the platform will not charge shipping on the orders. Okay. Any question? No. Okay. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's easy. I just want to run it through because not everyone may be as familiar with this as we as some are. So I want to cover our bases. So after that, that's it. You just want to set up your banking information so you can get paid. So we use Stripe to process our payment, and then we click next. You're gonna bring you to the Stripe page, and here you're gonna start out with your email address. It's gonna be a business email ideally, and then you're gonna set a password, and then you're gonna do authentication. All right. After you've done your authentication, this is just help to make sure everything's secure for you. Again, you're dealing with financial stuff here. Let's start with the basic stuff. So it's going to ask you if a company, individual, or nonprofit. So if you just you're selling out of your own garage, you haven't registered a business, then you're just an individual. But if you actually have a business or LLC, you want to start with company. And then if you're a company, they're going to ask you what type of company structure you are. So you should know these things. Otherwise, you would just be an individual. So I'm going to, for this demo purpose, it's just going to be an individual. And then the next is verify personal details. So this is your personal information that you got to fill in. Okay, so I did this already. And then the business details, I just filled in other merchandise and your website. So if you have a website, you can put this in here. Say if you're a Pieces of the Ocean, then you can put piecesoftheocean.com in here. And then product information could just be, product information description could be coral auction. Okay, or live coral. And then here you're gonna choose your bank. If you don't see your bank, you can manually enter it in, like I'm showing you here. So all this just so you can get paid, all right? You can use a link to save your information. It's pretty safe, but for the purpose of the demo, I'm gonna choose no. And then you're gonna select your bank account for for payouts. So here I already did the checking account, and you're gonna choose right here how often do you want money to be transferred to your bank. Okay, you can choose different ways. So for the purpose of demo, I chose weekly on a Monday. And then here is basically what your customer will see when they buy your product on their credit card statement. So try to be as descriptive as possible, but there are some character limitations, so you can play around with that. Here is just, you want to donate money, percentage of revenue. You can choose that no thanks, or if you feel passionate about it, you can donate 1%. So no thanks for now. And then confirm your personal details, and then you agree, and that's it. And when you click next, you will come back to the ReefnBid dashboard. And then right here, you're gonna see that it says your account is in pending status. Okay. So what that means is that you have submitted your information, but your account is not connected or set up. It's not ready, but you can still click next. And if you click next, it tells you that look, your stuff is ready, you're successful. You can continue the dashboard. You can still go here and you can play around with this, but you're gonna see that the listing order is disabled because your Stripe is not fully set up. Because obviously we're not gonna let you list if you cannot get paid. So you're gonna go back to onboarding. You're gonna click here. What happens is that they're gonna ask you for additional information. And it depends, it's not always this, it's not always gonna be Social Security or whatnot. It depends on I don't know the details behind their reasoning. But once you fill in the necessary information and you review and confirm it again, come back, you're gonna see that your account is now connected. So congrats, now you can list. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, pretty simple right now. Or at least the website indicates that your bank is all set up, right? However, you come in here, the buttons are missing for adding the listing because we require you to come up with a seller policy first, because before you can sell, you gotta disclose how you cover any DOA, how you handle shipping, so that the buyers feel confident and comfortable buying from you. So you're gonna click on profile settings and you're gonna put in your seller policy here. And once you've done that, that's it. Okay. So, any questions, guys? All right, I'm gonna keep going. So next step, so we'll sign up as a seller. We're gonna show you how to list. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna show you how to list. Okay. Can okay. So this is a screen that I left out at. I just basically copied the example seller policy here. So to start listing, you simply go to listing. Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me do this real quick. All right, here we go. All right, I just want to briefly show you guys this. On settings, you gotta have your seller policy. It's very important to have that for your customers. And then you can start to come here, and then do the listing. So there are two ways to list. All right, you can add one product at a time. So you can say, first of all, what I'm adding now is just for you guys to see. It's not going to be public, right? I explain how it can be not public and public. So just say, you know, live stream product demo 1, okay? And then you can drag and drop a product here. So I'm going to do a Ganapora. Okay, so you can drag and drop Ganapora up here. And then the SKU automatically created for you to identify this product. And then on the right side, you can do auction start now or schedule it ahead of time. We're going to do start now. And then you're going to have the end date and the time. I'm going to leave that as is. And then if you leave it as published, when you click add, it will automatically show to the world. Because this is a demo, I'm going to leave it as unpublished. What that means is you can still see this product if you have the link to it, but it will not be shown up on the main site. So it's kind of like on YouTube when it's unlisted, when the video, anybody with the link can see it, but it's not going to be searchable. It's not going to be listed in the list of products. Okay. Starting bid, this is straightforward. You can do $1 here, minimum increment, reserve price, buy now. So buy now is very important because one, not only that, if people want to buy this product, you want to buy it outright, but you want a realistic price here. Because a lot of the customers that I've spoken to, they use this as a guideline to bid, right? So if they look at the price of $200, I want a deal on this. I want to say I don't want to pay more than 20% discount. You know, for this product, they're going to bid up to a certain amount, which is fine, right? Because after all, you know, people come here for a deal. But if it's a realistic price and people really want this product, they would just buy it outright. And there are times where the bids will go so high that it will go past this buy now price. It's funny because I know that there are customers. It's like it's like a thrilling experience. It's kind of like almost like going to the casino or something. They plan the whole night around doing this. You know, they block the time out, they block the calendar, and then they have like, you know, snacks and beer just to do auctions. It's crazy. So, you know, it's a fun experience. All right. So again, the buy now price, make sure it's realistic. The tag here is important. So the tag that you tag will be directly will be affecting where this product will show up. So if you go to ReefnBid.com, and you're going to see that here it is like SPS, LPS, Softfish, and others, right? This is what it's going to come from. Okay. So I'm going to click add. So it says running now, so you can actually see it. All right. Cool. Any questions so far? How many days? Aries asks, how many days do you recommend listing a product based on your experience? So like William says, it's really hard to say. You can run, most people run 5 to 7 days. We run 3 days because we actually need to, just due to our way of operating here at Poto, we do it 3 days because we want to do it weekly. But I know at AgroSD, they run like, they stagger them. I think they almost sometimes they have like 1 or 2 days break and that's it. They run like a 5 to 7 days and they sometimes they overlap different rounds of auctions. So it depends what you can do, right? So that's one way to do it, to add product. And then the other way is to batch create. So this is the most powerful feature as far as adding, because you're obviously not going to add like 5 products. You're going to add 20, 50, 100, 150, 200 if you have the capacity to. So what this does is it allows you to add up to, I think, 500 products at a time. And the way this works is because we know that in the hobby, most people keep SPS separate from LPS, or LPS separate from soft. So every batch you do, it's going to be related to that specific type of corals. And I want to stress how important this is, because the fact that, because we built it, right? Poto built it, and we have domain expertise in the hobby. No other platform, eBay, anything else, going to offer you this type of granular control over uploading your products. If you think about it, this is very unique to the reefing hobby, right? So take full advantage. Say I'm doing sticks, so I'm only doing SPS this time. All right, SPS, and I'm doing minimum $1, starting bid $1. Don't worry, you can update, change these later. Reserve price 0. Speaking of reserve price, I want to bring this up to you guys, is that it's an option for you guys, but I would not recommend doing reserve price, because generally speaking, if an auction does not meet reserve price, it puts a damper on the experience for customers, and you lose a sale. Even if it goes below what you desire bid, it's a guaranteed sale for you. And I guarantee you, if you follow my suggestion later on how to select your rounds of auction, how to procure your items, you will make money on the higher margin, high ticket items, and you don't necessarily have to worry about not making money on the lower grade, the mid grade items. Think of them as a way to bring traffic or bring business into door for you. Or another term for them is the dollar chicken. A dollar chicken, but they bring business. They don't make money on the chicken, but they make money on the higher margin products once they bring that business in. Okay. On to the next, start time and stagger start minutes. So stagger start minute, basically, if you schedule this ahead of time, the items will start however minutes after one another here. But generally speaking, I like to start everything together at the same time, so I'll leave that at 0. And the end time is basically, when it ends. Stagger end minutes is how many minutes do you want to end the items apart from one another. So usually I like to end them either 1 or 2 minutes, just to give people a break from one item that's ending. Okay. And then skew suffix. This is also a very, very important, useful feature, especially if you have a large farm, have a lot of tanks, and you're selling corals from different tanks, different racks. You can put a suffix here to indicate this is rack number 5, or you have a name, a letter for that tank. So if it's a tank 5, rack B, so it'd be like T5B. So it's easy, especially if you're a large scale operation, then it's easy for whoever that need to pull the order and fulfill and ship to know where exactly these corals are. Okay. So I'm going to say, say this tank coming out, one of my tank is, say SB1 or something like that, right? Or KB1 or something like that, right? So I'm going to click next. All right. So here you're going to upload your product. Okay. Upload your pictures. So I'm going to upload a few SPS right here, because this is SPS. Remember, this is a patch for SPS. Okay. Will, you calling me? Hey, Will,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
up?
Kenny, so Ari brought up a great point. If you take a look, and so did Jackson. Um, Jackson, currently there is not a make an offer option, but the fixed price, if you just set the buy now pretty high, that I guess that would consider your fixed price, Jackson.
I see.
Also, yeah, you see, Ari brought up a pretty good point. He had 5 people tell him that they couldn't find his listing because they were looking through the carousel instead of the drop down,
I see.
which kind of makes sense to me because the carousel is so much bigger than the drop down.
Right. So I think the reason for that is, yeah, I think that's a good. Uh, the idea. So the the carousel right on top is basically as kind of like to promote the buyers that are active on the site. Um, the logic behind it is that if you have a fulfilled order in the past 8 weeks, your logo will show up there. Um, but you're right. You know, if that's the case, then we need to kind of think about how to work around that. But it's again, I don't want to just put people's logo up there and then when the buyer click on it, it's nothing. It's empty. So that would be kind of like disappointing experience for the buyers. So we got to figure out the balance between that. We'll definitely take that to the team and see if we can come up with a solution for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I don't think no one ever brought that up, but I think that is a great.
This is
A
great.
great
This is what this live stream is about for you guys to tell us what the pain point is, and we can see how we can solve it for you. So keep them coming. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, keep them coming. And yeah, we'll probably um, take have some note taken down in the back as well. Shall I continue?
Yeah, I think you
Okay.
continue.
Okay.
Ari, are you good, Ari?
And as far as the make an offer, right? That's a feature we want to add as well in the future as well. And we actually have some even not crazier, but some really exciting ideas coming up that we want to add, make it a very fun experience for the during auction. That's I have not seen done before. It's going to involve create a lot more engagement. But until we find the idea, I don't want to give too much away yet. It's just I really like that idea, and then part of it is to make an offer. Um, so okay, all right. So I'm here now. You can see there are 3 items that's required: the title, buy now price, and tags. So obviously you gotta name your corals. Okay, so you gotta name your coral, and then you gotta name and then give it a price. So this is a coral that we sell for $500, and then you can change the minimum increment here as well. Remember, before you set this already, but if you have a coral that's that you think should have a higher increment, you can change it here. SPS, if you make a mistake, you upload a picture that's an LPS, then you can change it here as well. SKU suffix, this is the location of your frags, your corals, okay? And this is not required, but because I put that in prior, it's here. And once you have done this, you can click save, okay? You click save. So after you click save, this is the same as before when you saw I create the product one by one. It's not published, but it's saved. So it has a link right here. You click on the eye icon, you can go there and see it. All right. So this page, you see this URL up here, it's live. However, it's not on the home page. Okay. In order for it to be on the home page, you gotta click this button. Or on the bottom here, once you have, let's just say, I'm not gonna go do it all. I'm just gonna do here, and you're gonna give it a price. Okay. So you click save. So once you save it, you can publish them all that are saved. So far I saved 2 items, I can publish all 2 items, and the rest is not saved yet. So if you refresh this page, you will only have the first 2 products on the site. The rest you gotta do it again. So you gotta make sure you save it once you're done. Okay. Then if you say, oh, oops, I made a mistake, you can also come in here and you can still edit it. Okay. So that's listing. That's pretty much listing in a nutshell. Any questions? Okay. Do we have a way to do the orders or no?
What do you mean?
Next
Yeah.
time, like order fulfillment. Maybe we can. So there's a couple questions about orders and fulfillment and shipping. I think I don't want. It's gonna be a long stream. I don't want to do too much of that. Maybe we'll do that in a different stream if people are interested on how to integrate with ShipStation to kind of make it easy. I mean, you don't have to right now. If the order comes in, you can use your own shipping service and punch in the tracking number and fulfill it that way. But otherwise, you know, you can integrate with ShipStation, which will handle all your printing, labels, and shipping fulfillment for you as well. And we can also go over like how different, again, different orders are combined to one order to ship out for the customers. And that basically, it's like another feature that a lot of people ask, a lot of customers ask, oh, I have another box coming from this seller. It's not fulfilled yet. Can they add to it? Can they combine? And then you can tell the customers, as long as your order is not fulfilled, any future order will automatically combine together as a fulfillment. So that's a very cool feature. These all come from like our own personal experience that from our own running auctions. And this is why I urge other sellers that's running their own auction on their own.com to really give us a try, because these are the nuances, a lot of nuances that will make your life a lot easier. You don't have to worry about sending different separate invoices. People not paying the invoice because with the auto pay, which are we promoting so heavily, and we're making that completely, almost like virtually non-existent for the non-payment because we want to incentivize people to do auto pay as much as possible. So these are all the features that any other platform does not provide. eBay does not provide, obviously, and your own .com auction, it's does not provide that either. Okay, so if no more questions, I'm gonna move on from my slides. All right, so this is I guess it's summing up, like basically drawing from our experience, your success, how to be successful doing auction. I think in order for us to be in a position to say that, we can tell you that, hold on, Eric has more questions.
Yeah, I think one hiccup that new vendors they don't know how to do autopay. Ari, do you have any? Do you know how to do the autopay?
So I think this is a good question for us to go over just for other viewers, other sellers as well. So there's no invoice to be sent. All right. So the way you can think of it is you go into a bar and you open a tab. You hand the credit card over to the bartender. You open a tab. You do your orders, and when you're done with your drinks, you close the tab. So in the context of ReefnBid, when we ask people to put on auto pay, they put in their payment information, and when they place a bid, they win. And once the round's finished, the sellers will come in and close out that transaction, basically charge the car for them. But it's important to remember that for a lot of people that are sensitive about their financial information, the credit card is not saved on ReefnBid. The credit card information is kind of scrambled, okay, and then in the unreadable format that's sent over to the bank, Stripe, which they process the payment. So you can kind of look at it like you give the credit card. So this is actually safer than you go to a bar, give the card to the bartender. The bartender has your card. If they want, they can do a lot of things with it. But the card does not go through our hand. We have no access to the customer's card. that we just take the car, send it out, and it's actually against the law for us to store any information of that nature on our database. So that's something that you can reassure your customers if they ever ask you how autopay works. Oh, I have to put in my payment information. Are you saying my card on your end? It's like, no, I don't have. I can't read it. I don't have information. Only the bank has your information. But that's how that works. You basically closing out a tab for the customer. All right. Does that answer your
Uh,
question?
yeah, but I think his question is, are the all can we show him live how to process autopay? Because I think he doesn't know how. We actually don't have any
We can do
literature.
that next time. I think we didn't prepare. Like we have to use a testing user account to test that. Unless you have that, Will.
I have that. I'm ready.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
So
let's
what?
show the vendors how to process autopay because Ari's not the first vendor who says they don't know how to process autopay.
Okay. You want to share your screen?
No, you have to post an auction and then I'll win it and then you.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me give you.
Yeah, make it like a few seconds.
So here I'm gonna have it end. And right now it's 49. Let's do 50. 52. I'm gonna change to $10, and then hit save. Oh, whoops.
Click start now. Yeah. Publish.
You know what? Let me create another product for you for this. So for demo purpose, I'll do $10, and it's an LPS, and then I'm gonna do unpublish. All right, and then I'm gonna do.
Okay.
All right, Will. Should I give you a link?
No, I got the link.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I bid on it already.
All right. So let's see it live. All right. So it's going to end in 40 seconds.
Yeah, so to answer Ari's question, the products after the auction is finished ends up in the buyer's cart, and if they're not on auto pay, they have to physically check out themselves. We don't have to send any invoices. It sits in their cart until they check out, and if they don't check out, it moves over to second chances. And then we're going to show you how to charge your customers for auto pay now.
Okay.
Yep.
So you go to order.
Dashboard, Kenny. Oh, you go right here too. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are two ways to go to the orders. You can go here, orders, or you can go to the side
Right
as
there,
well.
the auto. Yeah. So right on the dashboard, show them, Kenny, the dashboard. So the dashboard shows you how many auto payments you need to be processed. Currently, you see Kenny has one pending. So if you go to your dashboard, you could have 5 pending, 3 pending, whatever it is. So you click there and it
Yeah.
brings you to the order that needs to be charged.
Yeah. This is like one of the favorite things to do is coming here to see, orders coming in here and charge it. So again, the buyers don't have to do anything here. You come in here, right? It says on pay, and then it says ship to New York. I think this is because the customers already filled out when they created an account. In the setting, they have this done, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and then and
That's
then
fine.
and then usually it's defaults to a date that they prefer, but you can actually change it here if you want. If the customer calls you up, emails you saying, "Oh, I can't. Can I change it to another date?" Then you can change it here. Okay. And once you do, you save. And once you do save and charge, it will charge the card. Or you can hit save, and then there's a charge button on the top right. I can charge it as well. So if nothing else, if you like the way it as is, everything you don't need to change, you can hit charge on the top right, and it will automatically process the order for you. It will charge their card. And we can show them a little bit down here as well. There's a payment breakdown. You can just go through it so you know what you're collecting. And then below it, this history, you can see the history of this order as well. So it's a lot of information here for you to see. And the products here, you also click on the icon to look at the product again. Your SKUs here. So a lot of information that you need to process the order and pull and ship. So we're going to charge. We're going to charge right here. And
Okay.
it just says charge. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll see on top it changed from I think I forgot what the orange icon says, but it goes to unfulfilled after you charge it. That's how you know it's been charged.
Right. So now you can know this is pay. You need to fulfill it.
So Ari, if you go into your dashboard, maybe you will still see a couple orders sitting there that needs to be charged. When we first started the platform, we implemented a true auto charge where the computer would charge, but we ran into issues when the cards would decline and the computer didn't know when to stop charging, so it would charge throughout the night. If I think that's what happened. So now we made it into like Kenny said, like the bartender.
So it's true auto pay from a customer standpoint.
Yeah.
And from the seller standpoint, you still have to come here and charge the card. But I think it's good because you come in here, check, make sure everything's correct. You can change the shipping date if you need to. And there's a lot of things you can do here. So give you that flexibility. And again, this is only because we sell corals as a business, and we know the nuances that comes with selling and shipping corals, and we build these into the transactional support, transactional part of the platform to make our life easier, and hopefully it helps you guys as well. So it's a very powerful tool, as you can see, and we continue to build on top of this. Obviously, you can also set up ShipStation in settings. This is where you can do same thing with ShipStation, where you can send the shipment over to ShipStation, and ShipStation will come back with information about the shipment. So there's a lot of stuff there that you can leverage as well. When you actually start to sell high volume, like the bigger sellers, then this is very, very powerful, very, very useful. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I caught you off track, Kenny. I don't know where you're up to in your presentation.
That's okay. That's okay. We want to catch these quick questions. Okay. Let's see here. Go back to Recipes to success. Okay, all right. So this is very important. If you if you miss anything, don't try not to miss this part because we're drawing our from experience. Um, and as I was saying that um, I think like Poto, right? For Poto, we on the platform alone in the last 12 months, Poto did about $450,000 of sales on ReefnBid, and it's I don't know what other sellers are doing, but it's a great way. It's a great avenue for us to sell corals on. We still use live sales on Reef to Reef. We still do trade shows. We still do WYSIWYG. We still do our own website sales. Um, Coupled with this, but this is pretty much our bread and butter. This is our main revenue driver, and I really hope that you guys can also use it for your own success. Um, so having said that, um, we think these four main ingredients are what help drive success for Poto on auction, right? One is you gotta take great pictures. Okay, there's no way around it. This is e-commerce. Invest into a camera, and I think I have posted a video about how to take pictures, and I even show other sellers, other LFS that's near us, how to take pictures if their intention is to sell corals on ReefnBid. I have no issue. It's not like secrets or anything. We give it away for free to help you succeed. Because I go to trade show. Everyone got beautiful corals, but honestly, some of the pictures are absolutely cannot compare to the way the corals look in person. So the goal of the picture is to make it look like it does in real life. Okay, if your corals are beautiful, don't be afraid to show it off. So that's prerequisite for success on the e-commerce business in this day and age. Take great photos, and if you have questions, I'm always an open book when it comes to taking pictures. And I'm gonna show you my next slide. I actually have the link for the YouTube video that I did, like how we take pictures. There's a lot of good information in there. Okay, and this slide is basically I want to touch upon like lighting when you take pictures. One of the most neglected aspect of picture taking is lighting, because doesn't matter you're running metal headlight. If when we're taking top-down pictures in the reefing hobby, we are doing it in the low light setting. So you want to throw as much light at it as possible. But just to briefly touch upon it, but I think this topic alone would deserve a separate discussion, if not live stream. Okay. So remember, take great pictures. And number two is be consistent. You have to be consistent. If you just post once in a while and no post for a while, you're not gonna do well on the auction because people forget about you. You have to be consistent. You have to keep coming back, and obviously the challenge is how do you keep your selection fresh. So I want to say that's the biggest challenge for Poto when they're starting out doing auction. It's how to keep having just every week. How do we turn out like about 150 pieces of corals that different and fresh for the buyers, right? So there are many ways to do it. You gotta be willing to sell some of your pieces. Don't hold on to too many as long as you have backups, or you go to other places and buy it or trade. We do a lot of trading. You guys know other sellers, vendors. We are at trade shows. We buy. We're always constantly looking for new stuff to buy and trade, just to keep our selection fresh. Okay, so that we can keep coming back, and then that will allow the customers to remember you, and then and build recall. Recall basically recall your name every week becomes like a habit. And in the beginning, obviously, you're gonna have low bids because may not know about you, or there's you try to learn the platform. Don't be discouraged. Obviously, I remember my first live sale on Reef to Reef. I think I have 10 pieces or 20 pieces of the same coral. So people started to catch on like, why your stuff is always the same, So I guess those are feedback that you need to hear from people to know that, all right, you need to, straighten up your selection. You need to get your stuff fresh on your selection. You need to work on that. The public will let you know how you do, right? So That's why I say consistency is very important, and consistency will lead to results. Okay, and which also overlap with the importance of selections. Your selections matter a lot, and this is the whole reason why we're actually doing this platform, right? To people in the hobby, always after the newest, the greatest, the freshest, the nicest, the most colorful, something different they never seen before, and you should be, I mean, we already, always constantly on the hunt for that next nicest coral, right? But not only that, you gotta keep it, keep a variety nice and different. If you're stickhead, I think you should have pretty much like almost, I don't know, like 150 selection, a type of strain in your collection, because you're thinking about growing corals to sell on a weekly basis. You gotta keep up. You know, um, of course, you should be also open to other type of corals, LPS. All type of coral will help you in your journey, right? In your selling journey. Um, Generally speaking, at Poto, we always try to have a headliner. A headliner is something like a coral that turns heads, that catches people's attention, that everyone says they must have in the round auction, and that way, it will bring a lot of excitement to the round auction. So um, I know that sometimes people treat auction like a place to just dump unwanted corals. That's a bad move. You will not do well. I guarantee it, because that will also reflect on your on you as a seller. Like if all they sell is, you know, GSP and whatnot. Not to say that, not good corals. GSP is actually our number one seller in Poto and in store. But if you're constantly selling stuff like that, people are going to look at you like as a seller of that's offering these type of corals. So let your selection reflect you, speak for yourself, right? That's very important. Customer service. So as we do selling, customer service is utmost important. It will bring you repeat customers. It can make or break your business. I'm telling you right now. So customer service is one thing that you cannot cheap out on. If you need to have someone else do the customer service for you, someone to help you out, you need to invest in it, because it will pay you back um, many times over later. When people enjoy dealing with you, they will always buy from you again. So um, that's something that we stress a lot. And obviously, if you're on a platform selling, and we get complaints, consistently, that you have issues, we're gonna start talking to you and figure out why that is, because we don't want our users to have a bad experience on the platform, right? Um, any questions? Okay, I'll keep going. So this is a URL, or you can go on YouTube and search for it. It's there for you, and if you question, feel free to reach out. And then what's this? FAQ. This is the last piece before we go into some real Q&A. Again, you guys can stop me if you want. And I think a lot of people ask me, why would Poto let other people sell on the platform? Again, it's a rising tide lifting all boats type of situation. It's kind of like it'd be silly if we put a platform. It's almost like have a trade show and not let other vendors sell. So remember that. It's a healthy environment. I think the hobby is so small that we can support each other and still succeed. So we don't look at it like that. We don't look at it as competition. Number two is that auction cheapens my product. So I think that's not true. I really disagree with that. If you look at the brand of Poto that it has built, the auction has not cheapened the brand of Poto or this product. If in fact, unfortunately, I feel like people think of Poto as having very expensive stuff. I actually hear that a lot from customers. So it really comes down to what you put on auction and how you present them. So the 2 points I mentioned earlier, taking good pictures and putting the right type of stuff on auction, will make a big impact for you. So Auction definitely will not cheapen your product. It just comes down to how you present your product and what you present. Do you sell mostly zinnias, or do you sell, do you always have some kind of very desirable pieces on your auction? So that's how people will remember you by. Number three is that I don't want my product displayed next to X and Y. I've heard that before because people have issues with each other. So I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. This is, this is you're fighting a ghost. I feel like because um, the big picture is that you get to put your product in front of another seller, customer, and they get to put their product in front of you. So at the end of the day, the platform works in such a way where everyone got to be on top of their game. We got to be on top of the game. Other vendors got to be on top of the game, and then the public will determine who wins and who loses. So I think that's a very good and healthy competition platform, and very straightforward. That's something that you don't get anywhere else, and we've been transparent about that right now. So I don't mind other people selling next to us, and we don't mind selling next to them. It's a rising tide type of situation here. Number four is, will I lose money to low bids? So the short answer is yes, but the long answer is you're going to make money no matter what. Because if you follow the rule of having a good selection, you may or may not lose money on certain pieces, but your high-end, highly coveted pieces will always make money. They will always make money. So you need to know which ones they are. And if you have a good pulse on the hobby, you know what's hot out there, you put something that's amazing, never seen before, you will always make money on the high ticket, high margin items. All right. And then a low bids and low item will simply become a way to bring the traffic business to your business, to your front door. Okay. So you gotta think of the big picture, not the small items. All right. So I just want to show a couple other things that I forgot to show. Is basically the I want to mention how Pieces Ocean, ReefnBid is promoting ReefnBid for you guys, like like this last live stream with Reefbum with Sanjay, Mike Paulette, and Andrew Sandler on this 2-hour live stream on Reefbum with Keith Berkelheimer, so you can hear him talk about ReefnBid.
Kenny, there's no sound, Kenny.
There's no sound?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I get sound? Forgive me, this is our first time live streaming here. We actually have more people now.
Yeah, and on top of that, we do plan a few ReefnBid giveaways a year. So last year we gave away a Radeon XR30 Blue for people who sign up and sign up for AutoPay. They were automatic entered into that giveaway. We also gave away a Apex, a full system Apex, as well to get signups. Also, same sign up and auto pays, and they were automatic entered as well. So, as a platform, we're actively doing promotions to get more and more customers on board. And I think this year we are looking to give away probably a Hydros.
Oh, I see. Hold on. Bear with me. Let me see this. Stop screen. Present. Okay, I gotta share a tab instead. All right, I'll share a tab, and then I'll come back. Okay, you guys hear it?
No.
No.
This creates natural dynamic flow patterns, reduces
Can
dead
you guys hear it?
spots, and kicks up the
Yes.
surface. The Ocean Sea Wave is available exclusively through Champion Lighting and Supply. Visit championlighting.com for more information. And finally, ReefnBid. ReefnBid is the first of its kind in the reefing hobby, an online auction marketplace built by reefers for reefers to alleviate traditional auction pain points with features like autopay. ReefnBid currently hosts over 40 sellers ranging from established vendors such as Aqua SD and Pieces of the Ocean to private hobbyists. It's like going to a virtual frag show and getting great deals in an auction format. Check them out at reefnbid.com. All right.
All right. So, and we're actually going to also go into Reefpalooza, obviously. We're going to be at booth 317. And some of the stuff that we are auctioning at the show is like a Euro tank and OG bounces. So the concept is these kind of items will definitely draw a lot of crowd and excitement. So we're hoping that with these products that we're offering, we get to build up the hype and excitement for the. So we drive users to the site, and then in turn, hopefully bring more eyes to your auction to the seller. So this week and next week obviously is a great week to list. Tomorrow, Keith's gonna have another live stream Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Be sure to catch his live stream. He's gonna mention us again. So we're gonna try to do as many of these type of promotions across the board as much as possible. Talk about it, and all this just so that you bring more eyes to the site. So, but another this is why it's important that we have this live stream, talk to sellers, making sure that you guys understand the behind the works that we're putting in, and there are sellers. I mean, there are buyers waiting to bid on your stuff. We and any if there's any issues with you using the platform, definitely do not hesitate in reaching out. So. Finally, Q&A. I mean, we answered some Q&A already. And again, the most currently the most successful sellers on ReefnBid are the ones that actually also promote uh, on their own, because you gotta tell your buyers where you're listing auction, right? I mean, we don't have access to your buyers as much as you do, so you gotta tell your buyers that, oh look, we're listing auction on ReefnBid. You gotta come check it out. We're gonna do our part in promoting ReefnBid as a platform, as a whole. But your customer base, your loyal following need to come as well. So that's the ones that does a great job is Poto, Aqua SD, and I think Queen City and a few other sellers too. That if you list on the platform, you should also tell your sellers. I mean, tell your buyers, right? So lots of notes here. Any other questions? I think the live stream has gone on for probably a good amount, an hour, 15 minutes. Yeah, email campaigns, it only helps, right? So, we doing we do a, I think we try to, and we try to sponsor Reef to Reef as well, but Reef to Reef actually considers us a competitor to their platform. So but they're very courteous about it. But we respect their decision, and we don't want to. Again, it's a very small industry. We don't want to step on any toes. So out of respect, we're not sponsoring Reef to Reef, but wherever there's opportunity, we're gonna go for it. So. All right. Any other questions? If no questions, we're gonna close this out. But this is not the end of the discussion. This is just the beginning. I hope to do more of these if you guys like it. I think we still have a lot to show you, right? We'll like the ordering functionality, the shipping. So maybe we do another live stream related to that. All right. Well then, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate your support, and we're here. We're always here for you if you have questions and issues. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ari, for the questions and good insight.
All right. Good night, Will.
All right, see you tomorrow.